For more than a decade, NASCAR chased drama, elimination rounds, winner-go-home chaos, championships decided in a single, frenetic race, and now they've hit reverse. In 2026, NASCAR is officially bringing back the chase, not as nostalgia, not as a simple rebrand, but as a full-scale philosophical reset, a reversal that few saw coming, and one that carries immense, unspoken implications for the future of the sport. After years of evolution, of pushing the boundaries of what a championship should be, NASCAR is going back to its past. But here's the real question that Time Scape News will forensically answer. Is this a genuine step forward for competition and fairness, or a calculated, tactical retreat designed to stabilize a sport grappling with its identity? The word chase isn't just branding. It's a ghost in the machine of NASCAR's modern history. For longtime fans, it evokes a complex mix of legitimacy, engineer excitement, and sometimes outright frustration. For critics, it often represented compromise. And for NASCAR executives, it always meant one thing above all: control. This isn't just about points totals or a new name. It's about trust. The trust between the sanctioning body, its competitors, and its fiercely loyal fan base. It's about whether manufactured chaos truly builds loyalty or, as some argue, slowly erodes it. The very soul of NASCAR, its authenticity, its raw, unscripted drama, has been debated for 2 decades under the banner of the chase. This reset is an acknowledgement of those debates, but perhaps not a full resolution. For the vast majority of its history, NASCAR crowned its champions the boring way, the pure way: points, week after week, race after race, season after season. No resets, no manufactured drama. The champion wasn't always flashy, but they were undeniable, a true testament to consistent performance over a grueling season. Then came 2004, a seismic shift, the birth of the chase for the Nextel Cup. NASCAR wanted drama. Networks wanted moments that transcended the sport. Sponsors wanted eyeballs glued to the screen for a dramatic conclusion. The stated goal? To ensure the championship battle went down to the wire, to avoid a runaway points leader, to inject unpredictability. It was a bold gamble, fundamentally altering the sport's competitive fabric. But over time, the pursuit of more excitement morphed. The chase evolved. In 2011, a new point system. In 2014, a radical elimination format, the win-and-you-win era. Suddenly, the best season didn't always win a championship. The driver who performed best across all 36 races might be eliminated by a single bad break. Instead, the best afternoon did, or the driver with the most aggressive, win-at-all-cost mentality. The very definition of a champion became a subject of heated debate among fans and competitors alike. Behind every major rule change in professional sports, especially one as commercially driven as NASCAR, there's always a powerful confluence of forces at play. It's rarely just about leveling the playing field. It's about money, media rights, and the subtle exercise of power. Why did NASCAR consistently tinker with its playoff format for 2 decades? While NASCAR officially cited fan engagement and competition as the drivers, a forensic look reveals deeper currents. Consider the massive television contracts. Broadcasters invest billions, and they demand a product that delivers ratings. A runaway points leader by mid-season doesn't deliver ratings. It delivers apathy. So, the formats were designed to guarantee a dramatic showdown, a Super Bowl moment every single year. The pressure to deliver spectacle is immense. Then there's the sponsor influence. Major corporations pour millions into teams and series sponsorships. They need exposure. They need a compelling narrative. A championship fight that involves their brand on a contending car in the final weeks is invaluable. The elimination format, with its high stakes, offered a clear path to that narrative. This isn't a conspiracy theory. It's the economic reality of modern sports. And it forms a critical backdrop to this latest reversal. What commercial pressures, what media negotiations, what shifts in sponsor sentiment compelled NASCAR to return to a format it had spent years dismantling? This is the core question we seek to answer. Now, let's cut through the noise and get to the forensic details of the 2026 playoff format. This isn't just a slight adjustment. It's a foundational shift. NASCAR is returning to a total point system for its playoff structure, a clear echo of the original chase, but with key distinctions. This is a blueprint for the next era, and understanding every line is critical to predicting who truly wins and who might find themselves strategically disadvantaged. In 2026, the path to the championship takes a significant turn. 16 drivers, chosen by total points accumulated over the entire regular season. Not just wins, not miracles. This is a first and perhaps most profound signal of NASCAR's new philosophy. Consistency matters again. The win and you're in era, where a driver could win one race and coast, is over. This closes the door on the truly accidental contenders. The surprise winner who pulls off one incredible victory, but struggles the rest of the season. The fluke moment that granted playoff access to a less-than-dominant team. NASCAR is making a clear bet here. Credibility beats chaos. They believe a championship built on a foundation of consistent top-tier performance will be more respected, more legitimate, and ultimately more engaging for their core fan base. But at what cost of the underdog story? At what cost of the dramatic upset? This rule heavily favors the well-funded, consistently performing organizations. The Hendrick Motorsports, the Joe Gibbs Racing, the Team Penske's of the world. Teams with the resources to consistently build fast cars, maintain top-tier pit crews, and execute flawless race strategies week after week. Smaller teams, or those who might rely on one or two tracks where they excel, face a steeper climb. Their margin for error just shrunk dramatically. This isn't just a rule change. It's a structural reinforcement of the existing power dynamics within the sport. Don't confuse this renewed emphasis on consistency with caution. NASCAR didn't weaken winning, they weaponized it. They've amplified the value of a victory, making each trip to victory lane an even more potent strategic advantage. Under the new 2026 format, a race win is now worth a staggering 55 points. This isn't just a bonus, it's a strategic bomb. To put that in perspective, in previous systems, a win often guaranteed a playoff spot, but its points value might not drastically alter regular season standings in the same way. Now, one victory can practically erase weeks of mediocrity or compensate for a DNF did not finish, caused by a crash or mechanical failure. This changes everything for team strategy. This changes aggression, and it raises desperation to an entirely new level. Drivers and crew chiefs will now have to weigh risk versus reward in a profoundly different way. Is it worth putting the car on the line for a victory, knowing the immense points boost it provides, even if it means sacrificing a consistent finish? We could see a shift in racing tactics. Drivers with a chance to win might become even more ruthless, knowing the 55 points are game-changing. This could lead to more thrilling finishes, but also potentially more controversial contact and frustrated competitors. The cost versus outcome here is fascinating. The cost of a wrecked car and a pissed-off competitor might be less than the outcome of those 55 invaluable points. It's a calculated risk, and one that NASCAR has implicitly encouraged with this point structure. Perhaps the most significant philosophical U-turn in NASCAR's 2026 playoff reset is a complete elimination of elimination rounds. No more win or go home. No more sudden death scenarios. No more playoffs points resetting the field after every round. Instead, a straightforward 10-race mini-season where the driver with the most points at the end wins the championship. This fundamentally alters the dramatic arc of the championship. It brings back the marathon, the test of endurance and consistent performance over a sustained period rather than a series of high-stakes sprints. This ends the era of artificial drama, where a dominant driver could crash out of contention in a single unlucky race, opening the door for someone who might not have been the best overall performer. For fans who long for a return to a more traditional meritocratic system, this is a breath of fresh air. They argue that the elimination format cheapened the championship, making it a lottery rather than a true measure of skill and strategy over a season. But not everyone is built for that marathon. The win-and-you're-in format allowed drivers to take aggressive gambles, to push the envelope, knowing one big moment could secure their spot. Without that, will some drivers become less aggressive? Will the mid-pack of the playoff field play it safe, just trying to accumulate points, rather than fighting for wins? This new system demands a different kind of mental fortitude, a different kind of strategic patience. It's a return to a more cerebral form of racing, where consistent execution over 10 high-pressure races will be paramount. The psychological impact on drivers and teams, particularly those who thrived on the chaos, will be immense. Let's be honest. Every rule change, no matter how well-intentioned, creates winners and losers. This format unequivocally favors power. It rewards consistency, resources, and flawless execution over a sustained period. The top-tier teams, with their vast budgets, multiple car stables, and deep engineering talent, are built for this. They can afford to develop cars that are fast on every type of track, week in and week out. They can absorb a bad finish or two, knowing their consistent performance elsewhere will keep them in contention. Their drivers are often seasoned veterans, masters of managing a race and a season. This solidifies their advantage. Conversely, smaller teams lose their lottery ticket. The magic moment, the one-off win, the underdog story that defined parts of the elimination era, those moments don't carry as far anymore. A single upset win, while still a cause for celebration, no longer guarantees a golden ticket to the championship hunt. They need to replicate that performance consistently across 10 grueling playoff races. For many, that's an impossible task given their budget and resource constraints. This could further stratify the sport, making it even harder for smaller operations to compete for the ultimate prize. The fan base, as always, is split. Traditionalists, those who grew up with the season-long points battle, will feel vindicated. They long for a return to what they consider pure racing, where the best overall team and driver, not just the one who survived the elimination gauntlet, was crowned champion. They desire legitimacy over manufactured drama. For them, this is a restoration of NASCAR soul. However, the elimination era, for all its flaws, did inject undeniable, high-stakes drama into the playoffs. Casual fans, attracted by the win-or-go-home narratives, might find the new format less immediately urgent. The artificial crescendo of each elimination round is gone. Will the absence of those sudden death moments lead to a dip in engagement from a segment of the audience that thrives on that specific type of high-octane pressure? Or will the renewed focus on overall excellence create a deeper, more satisfying narrative that brings fans back for the long game? The answer will define NASCAR's viewership for years to come. And then there's the money, the lifeblood of modern professional sports. Sponsors prefer predictability. Broadcasters prefer clean narratives, sustained engagement, and compelling storylines they can market for weeks, not just a single chaotic event. This unstated truth forms a financial bedrock of NASCAR's decision. While no one in power will say this out loud, the incentives for this shift align perfectly with the needs of NASCAR's commercial partners. A consistent points battle offers a more predictable narrative arc for pre-race hype and post-race analysis. It allows broadcasters to build a sustained story around a handful of contenders, rather than constantly shifting focus based on who survived the latest elimination round. This can make advertising slots more valuable and future media rights negotiations more stable. This isn't just about sporting integrity. It's about business stability. Just as $100 million versus $1.4 billion. Why U.S. prisons are failing. Expose the cost versus outcome disparity in the prison system. This NASCAR reset hints at a similar calculation. The perceived cost of losing some artificial drama outweighed by the outcome of a more stable, predictable, and marketable product for the long term. This isn't about passion. It's about market share and investor confidence. The stakes aren't just a trophy. They're billions in future revenue and the sport's very viability. This reset, while aiming to stabilize, will inevitably create new loopholes, new strategies, and, without a doubt, new controversies. Time Scape News predicts several key areas where the 2026 format will reveal its unforeseen cracks. Firstly, look for teams that heavily prioritize consistency and data analytics throughout the regular season, potentially leading to less aggressive racing in the initial stages. The gamble of an early season win for a guaranteed playoff spot is gone. The marathon demands a different pace. Secondly, the immense value of 55 points for a win could lead to even more desperate, potentially dangerous last-lap maneuvers. If a driver needs those points, the risk of wrecking themselves or others might be deemed acceptable. Finally, the elimination of elimination rounds could inadvertently shift the pressure cooker away from individual races and onto the entire 10-race playoff segment. One bad race in the playoffs, one DNF, now has a far greater impact on the final points tally than it did when rounds could be reset. This means the pressure on mechanical reliability and strategic perfection over those final 10 weeks will be absolutely crushing. NASCAR didn't bring back the chase purely to please fans. They did it to stabilize the sport, to find a balance between compelling competition and financial viability. Closing the 2026 NASCAR season won't just crown a champion. It will answer a bigger, more existential question for sport. Can NASCAR grow up, evolve, and secure its financial future without losing the very raw, unpredictable soul that made it legendary? The Time Scape news investigation suggests this reset is a calculated gamble. The outcome, as always, will be written on the track and in the balance sheets. We'll be watching. This is Time Scape News. Welcome to the Inner Circle. This isn't just a membership. It's a mission. You're supporting forensic truth, mythic blends, and ceremonial broadcasts that honor every moment. Members unlock exclusive enhancements, behind-the-scenes alerts, and direct access to the pulse of Time Scape News and leading sponsor, Gold Rush Fever Specialty Coffee. Join us and help shape the signal. We thank you, and as always, stay safe. The latest from Time Scape News. We're live. We're watching. We thank you. Subscribe, like, share, and ring the bell so you don't miss what breaks next. Stay with us. We appreciate you, and as always, be safe.